evening. I'm just about to take a taxi to the main train station here in Urumqi, from where I'm going to get the 12-hour overnight train to the border with Kazakhstan, a country I've never visited before. Only heard great things about it, although I don't know too many people who've been there because it's not that common of a place to go, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing. First of a few former Soviet countries are going to be visiting as well, so that's going to be really interesting too. Anyway, let's go on the long journey to Almaty. Oh my god, it is freezing today in Urumqi, and I don't think it's going to be much warmer in Kazakhstan where we're going. Anyway, all part of the experience. Right, on board the train, not too bad on here. I'm sleeping. Alright, we're in Korgas, the border town of China and Kazakhstan. I slept pretty much through the whole train trip, wasn't too bad. I've had 2 overnight sleeper trains now, and they've both I've been pleasantly surprised by both. Hell of a lot better than the buses, let me tell you. Anyway, I need to work out how to get across this border. I think I need to get a taxi to the bus station, so yeah, I'm gonna work out how to do that. Alright, made it onto a bus, still in China, the bus to Almaty. Not sure what time it leaves, but yeah, good thing we're gonna make it. Alright, filming on the phone, so this might not look or sound as good, but just stopped in a restaurant on the side of the road in Kazakhstan. We've made it over the border. Just ordered myself some plov, which is like a local dish, so I'm looking forward to trying it. I've got no idea what meat it is. I hope it's not horse, but I don't. My Russian is very, very, very bad, so we'll see. Here we are, my first meal in Kazakhstan. Kind of similar to some of the Xinjiang food, but I guess it's all the same region. It looks really good anyway. Well, here we are, Almaty, Kazakhstan. And the first thing I've noticed getting here is look at those mountains up in the distance. I'm not sure if you can see it very well on the camera, but it's incredible. They're so high. Anyway, I've had a pretty interesting introduction to Kazakhstan. Leaving China, I got interrogated for about 10 minutes about what I'd been doing in the country, what I did for work, study, etc. Then on the Kazakh side, I met the friendliest border guards I've ever come across, just wanting to make me feel welcome, and yeah. And then get to the bus station Almaty, and the first taxi driver I speak to was going to charge me 9 times the price on Yandex Taxi, which is like their Uber here. So yeah, had a mixed introduction to the place, but anyway, I'm not going to get up to much this evening because I'm really tired and I've been traveling all day. Just to head into town and get a SIM card and change some money and just see a bit of the local area, so it should be good. Tell you what, straight away, it looks a lot like Eastern Europe here, which makes sense, I guess, because it was part of Russia for the Soviet Union for so long. Just have a look at these streets. Could easily be on the outskirts of Budapest or Belgrade or somewhere like that. I mean, it's not surprising, but it's just a massive change coming from China, which is only a few hours it's only a few hours east of here. So yeah. Well, finally sorted what I needed to. It took longer than expected, and just walking around in that shopping centre there, my god, Kazakhstan, what a place. It's so incredibly, what's the word, cosmopolitan. Like, just walking around, I hardly saw any local restaurants. It was all like burgers, pizza, steakhouse, Korean, Chinese, Indian. Wasn't expecting that at all, especially after being in China. It's a bit of a shock seeing all this stuff. Also, the people's faces, there's not a single real Kazakh look. Some people are Russians, some people are ethnic Kazakhs, you've got Tatars, Germans, even Koreans. So Kazakhstan so far is really a fascinating place. Anyway, I'm going to go back now, have a rest, and I'll see you tomorrow from some exploring of Almaty. Good morning from Almaty. It's a lovely day. No plan today, just going to go to the city centre and just walk around and see what we can find. Let's go. Ordered some breakfast, and I must say the English here is not good, but it's a lot better than China. I'm able to get by so far without having to try to speak Russian because I know about 10 words. Anyway, looking forward to this breakfast. Wait till you see what I've managed to find here in the middle of Almaty, Kazakhstan. Well, breakfast is here and I've missed this. Take a look. Full English. Wasn't expecting to find one in Kazakhstan of all places, but it's been a while, so I can't wait. Right, breakfast done. So good to have a full English. Like, after 6 weeks of having noodles for breakfast or McDonald's when I didn't feel like Asian food, it's so nice to have something like that. Wasn't expecting Kazakhstan to cure my homesickness, but here we are. Anyway, I'm gonna go for a walk now, just walk into the center of Almaty and see what we find. Yeah, there's a couple of things I've read about that look pretty interesting, so yeah, let's go. I'll tell you one thing that's great about being in Kazakhstan is no one's staring at me anymore. In China, everywhere I went, I'd have people staring at me, pointing at me and yelling, you know, foreigner in Chinese, and also just coming up to me and taking pictures without even asking. Because a lot of people in China, especially from the countryside, have never really seen a white person before. But here in Kazakhstan, I blend in kind of a bit more because there's lots of Russians who look similar to me. So yeah, it's kind of, you might think it's kind of cool to be like a celebrity in China, but it's not. After a while it wears you down. So I'm just enjoying being able to walk the streets and not attract any attention, which is nice. Well, I'm here now on one of Almaty's main streets, Goggles Street. I'm gonna walk down a bit, go to the center of the city where all the shops, restaurants, cafes, bars are. I know I've already said it before, but it just does feel so much like being in Eastern Europe here, which makes sense considering it's a former Soviet country, but just the fact where I am in Central Asia, so close to China, it's kind of incredible. Right, here now on the Arbat Street, which is the main shopping street of Almaty. Lots of bars and restaurants too, and it's pretty quiet. Have a look. I guess it is Monday morning, so it makes sense, but yeah, just gonna walk down here. Then there's a couple of things at the end of it that I want to show you. It looks quite interesting, so yeah. Well, Kazakhstan has been an independent country since 1991, but everywhere you go there's still signs of its Soviet past, like this cathedral behind me, the Ascension Cathedral. It looks more like something you'd find in Moscow than in Central Asia, although all over the city there are signs of it. And Kazakhstan is also a majority Muslim country, which makes this even more interesting to find somewhere like here. There is a grand mosque in Almaty, which I'm going to go and have a look at too at some point. I must say, so far I'm a big fan of Almaty. It's got a real sort of peaceful vibe about the place. Some really nice architecture, lots of really good restaurants and bars, and yeah, it's just quite pleasant. Lots of green spaces. I mean, obviously now it's kind of covered in snow and all the trees are dead, but in the summer I can imagine this to be a very green, sort of lush place. Especially, and it's also got the mountains in the background, and I'm definitely going to try and get up into the mountains in the next few days, because I've heard that's where the best of Kazakhstan is, the nature. Well, don't tell me this doesn't look like Russia. I've never been to Russia, but this is exactly how I'd imagine it to look, and it does make sense, I guess. This is a very Soviet-looking statue here. What do we got? Idia Mienshuk. Don't know if I'm saying that right or what either of that means, but yeah, just everywhere you go, just the Soviet past is just on show here. And it's kind of, it gives it, it's not the most aesthetic place to walk around, but it gives it a sort of charm and like sort of atmosphere. I can't quite describe it, but it's quite, I quite like it. Well, the Opera House of Almaty with the mountains in the background, not sure if you can see them. There is some really cool architecture here. It's quite, just, it's so cool to see this after being in East Asia for so long. And literally the second I crossed the border from China, it just changed this sort of Eastern European look. These mountains just give the city an incredible backdrop. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see them behind the smog, and they're quite far away. But just like way in the background there, these mountains, they're covered in snow and they look really high up as well. I definitely need to get up there while I'm here. Well, so far I've spent a lot of time talking about the Soviet past, but the Kazakh people are still the majority here, and they're majority Muslim, and that still shows in many parts of the city. As European as it looks, you have stuff like this, the Almaty Central Mosque, which I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of this sort of stuff as we head further into Central Asia and follow the Silk Road towards Europe. Right, I think I'm going to call it a day. But before I do, just want to say, the English level here amongst the young people is actually pretty good. I wasn't expecting it to be, but like in China it was such a struggle, but here, even in places where it's only Russian on the menu, you can get by speaking English. So that's something that surprised me about Kazakhstan. I mean, the older people don't really speak English, but the young ones do, so that makes it a lot easier to travel around. Right, morning. Today I'm going to do something a little touristy, go to a different part of the city, to a place called Kok Tobe, which has a cable car going up to the top of the hill with a really good view of the whole of Almaty. So let's head there and see what it's like. Right, arrived at the cable car station. There it is, up ahead. Kok Tobe. Let's get a ticket and head up. Apparently the view's amazing, so I'm looking forward to it. Well, I just went in there and it's closed until 1 o'clock this afternoon. It's 11:45 now, so I am gonna wait, just hang around, because today's the last day of good weather. It's meant to be snowing the rest of the week and the views might not be very good. So yeah, gonna just keep myself busy for an hour or so, then I'm gonna head back and go up. I might sit here and do some Russian lessons on my phone for the next hour, because I'm in Russian speaking places for at least the next month and I really need to learn some more because it's difficult without knowing any. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Right, it should be open now. Let's head up.
Фотографирую.
В станции работала, я часто здесь ходила.
Я на его концерт тоже ходила.
Одну будете сдавать, в другой жить. А мне, а тебе, говорю, только будет 6. Сколько еще ждать? Я говорю, еще столько.
Right, we're at the top. Seriously, why don't more people come to Kazakhstan? Have a look at these mountains up ahead here. Certainly feels very touristy up here. Don't think I'll stay up here for lunch. I reckon I'd pay double what you pay in the city. It's like a theme park here, but it all looks very closed. Up there is the Almaty TV tower. But given the weather today, I don't think I'm going to waste my money going up to the top, because you probably wouldn't see too much. A lot of everything up here is kind of closed. Also feel like I'm the only non-Russian or Indian tourist here as well. Not surprising, I suppose. Not gonna lie, a bit disappointed. I mean, the weather doesn't help, so I'm just gonna head back down now, I think. I can imagine it would be really nice here on a clear day with the mountains like fully visible. But anyway, yeah, can't control the weather. Well, welcome back to Almaty, and look at the weather today. It's definitely changed, so I don't know how much I'm going to get done, but I'm heading down to somewhere not far from here that I haven't yet seen. So let's see. Hopefully the weather's not going to stop us exploring. Gotta tell you what, only a little over 3 weeks ago I was on a beach in Vietnam. Now I'm walking around Kazakhstan in the middle of winter. Take a look. I kind of like it though. It's not bad. It's actually not too cold too. So it's fine walking around. It's just getting a bit wet. Camera's waterproof, luckily. I tell you what though, you think this looks cold, this looks wintry. In a couple of days I'm heading up to Astana, which is the capital of Kazakhstan, and in fact is the second coldest capital city in the world. So that should be quite the experience. Well, here we have another very Soviet looking monument, the monument to the independence of Kazakhstan over here. So what that commemorates is when the Soviet Union fell in 1991 and Kazakhstan became an independent country. And then across the road here you have the town hall, or the mayor's office of Almaty. So yeah, in some very fitting weather, I think. Very appropriate for the scene. I think I'm going to call it for now and head back. The snow's nice, but it's not even too cold. I'm just getting so wet because snow falls on you and starts melting. So yeah, I mean, it's been nice to see that at least, but it's not the best day for sightseeing. Winter in Kazakhstan. I was warned, but you know what? I kind of like it. Have a look. Snow's getting quite deep now. Well, not quite deep, but there was none on the footpath today and it's building up quite a bit. But yeah, it's not, I don't mind it too much. Maybe if I lived here I'd have a different opinion, but enjoying it so far. Alright, good morning. The weather has calmed down a bit today, so I'm gonna try and head up into the mountains to go on a hike. Got a local friend who's taking me on a trail. Apparently it's really spectacular up there, and I've been told that it's the best thing in Kazakhstan. It's like the mountains and the nature. So you're looking forward to it. Should be good. Let's go. Alright, so I'm actually getting the bus up to the mountains, and the bus stop is just up ahead here. So yeah, let's go. Right, so made it off the bus, heading up the mountain, and that there is the Medeo ice skating rink, which is one of the highest open ice skating rinks in the world. Anyway, let's head up, heading up this way. Oh, halfway up, climbing 800 steps up the mountain. There's the view down there. Only halfway though, 400 to go. Oh God, I'm knackered. Right, top of the 800 steps, but it's worth it. Have a look. And over here there's another really good view. These gondolas are going up to the Shimbolak ski resort, which is where I'm going to try and go next week and do some skiing. But yeah, it's incredible up here. Right, so we've gone a bit further up and have a look at the view. That in the distance is Shimbolak ski resort, and some of those peaks go up to over 4,000 meters. So yeah, it's lovely here. Let's keep going. I've been hiking up this trail for about half an hour here. It's pretty deep snow. We're the first people to do it today, but just have a look at the view we've got from up here. Spectacular. We're going up to a waterfall eventually, which is frozen, and I've been told it's really spectacular. So yeah, let's keep going. Right, not far from the waterfall now, and have a look at where we are. It's just me and Alicia, my excellent guide. I'll put a link to his Instagram in the description. If you ever come to Kazakhstan, give him a call and he'll take you up here. But yeah, it's just lovely. We're the first two to come up here today, and possibly the only two. But yeah, see you at the waterfall. Alright, finally made it to the top. Here's the waterfall. You can see it frozen completely solid under all that fresh snow from yesterday. It's pretty incredible. I've never seen a frozen waterfall before, but I guess one in Kazakhstan. Right, back down in Almaty, and what a day that was. That was incredible, that hike up into those mountains. Definitely is probably the highlight of Kazakhstan, is the country's nature. Anyway, tomorrow I'm getting a 16-hour train up to Astana, the capital of Kazakhstan, and you'll see just how different that place is compared to Almaty. Can't wait. See you tomorrow.